Hello YouTube. So I'm back with another video about narcissism and recovering from abuse. And this one is going to be titled, when did your friends, your high school friends, your university friends, when did they become narcissists? So I think a lot of people now realize as an adult that there are some adults that are very manipulative and they are emotionally distant. They want to know everything about your situation and they're not telling you anything about their situation. And these adults are what we call narcissists, basically, because what they're basically doing is they want you to provide all of the information about what you're going through, and then they don't want to tell you anything about what they're going through. So they just take the information and then they go and basically conspire against you with other people, with other friends or whatever that you might have had, or other fellow people that you grew up with, stuff like that. So when did they become like this? So a lot of people don't realize that these people have always been like this. And it's not when you're an adult that you really realize that these people have always been like this. It's not something that happened to them when they were growing up or anything like that. These people have always wanted you to over-explain yourself. They've always never told you much about what they were going through. Back in those days when you were in high school and university, you didn't really realize the emotional weight of what you were doing by telling them about your personal information and stuff that you're going through. And you didn't really understand the reactions that they have and their emotional distance, and also their body language and certain different things that they show you. For example, there is different body languages that narcissists have and different sounds they make when they are having conversations with you that is really disturbing. For example, they might sneer. So a sneer is like when you tell them some dream that you have or some goal. They don't say, yes, I want you to do that. They make like a weird sound or whatever, and then they cough, or they might like they say we describe it as sneer. So it's something that they do. Basically, it means that they don't really want you to get to whatever goal that you're telling them about, and you shouldn't even like be having any goals or anything like that. So another kind of body language thing that they might have, they have the side head, side eye. I heard people talk about the side eye, but narcissists have this weird thing where they want to look you dead in the eyes. Even if you're doing a video call with them, they want to look you dead in the eyes through the video call, and they might turn their head sideways like this to do it. It's such a strange thing they do. So it's because of they're possessed by some sort of demonic spirit, obviously. But that's another kind of body language that they have. And then there is other body languages that they have, that and other gestures that they do and stuff like that when they're interacting with you that's really disturbing. They might make noise, like they might knock on the wall, or they might, basically these people are literally insane. Like, it's recognized as a mental illness. But when did they become like this? I don't want to drift too far from what I'm supposed to talking about today. So they became like this a long time ago. But when you were growing up, when you were in university and you were telling them about your course that you were doing, you thought that, oh yeah, we're all university students, so I'm just kind of telling them. But at the time, you probably didn't realize they never told you anything about their course that they were doing. They only wanted you to tell them about the course that you were doing. They only wanted you to tell them about the class that you failed, or the class that you barely passed, or the class that you had to redo, or whatever. And they never said, that I have a class that I have to redo also. They never told you that. They were gathering information about you, and they were training you to over explain yourself and be like this for the rest of your life. Meanwhile, they are reserved and keep all the information for themselves, because these people are like this because of a biological and a demonic possession that they have. So as an adult now, when you grow up and you realize that there is an energy cost to telling people about your personal information and them not reciprocating or trying to help you or anything like that, then you start to realize that this is a spiritual war. And now you have to realize that you have to be very you have to be very careful about sharing, oversharing, and stuff like that. And nobody told you about this stuff when you were growing up. Nobody told you that there is a spiritual cost or emotional cost, or there is a force behind this kind of interaction with these kind of people and interaction with people in general. So I just wanted to make this short video to kind of talk about narcissists. Could you also leave a comment to let me know when you were growing up, did you have most people never had any understanding of narcissistic dynamics when they were growing up as an high schooler or kindergarten or primary school or university. It's only as a complete adult that we start to realize about these this kind of interaction and what it means. So I just wanted to make this short video to kind of talk about that. For me personally, I never knew about narcissists. I never knew about over explaining and what it means. But eventually, maybe a few years ago, I started to realize that there is a spiritual weight to actually interacting with people, and what it means when you over explain yourself, when you tell people about your personal information and stuff like that. And when they ask you stuff like, what was your weekend when you go to work, like they want to know every single thing about your entire life, because they have a problem. They have a bottomless pit that they can't fill, so they want to fill it with your information, with your spiritual energy. Meanwhile, they don't want to go to God and try to get renewed by God. They want you to explain. They want you to give them the energy that you got from God when you went to God and had to refuel after they drained you the last time. So these people have always been like this. But when you were in university, you probably didn't realize. When you were in high school, you probably didn't realize that. But it's not even just your friends. It's also family members and other adults that were in your life when you were growing up, that were draining you when you were a kid and training you to be like this. For example, it could be your mother or father that wanted you to over explain every single thing about your life to them. They might ask you, oh, was school today? Oh, was this today? Oh, was that today? Everything. They want to know about every single thing about what you went through in the last 24 hours. And basically that trained you to be like this. So now when you're an adult and you realize that you have a problem over explaining yourself, then you see the spiritual weight behind it, and you realize that this is something that is generational. Like, it's very generational, and it really affects you as an adult. Because the thing is, a lot of people don't understand the dynamics behind over explaining yourself. They think it's just somebody just not having any boundaries, and they just tell people about every single thing that they're going through. But there's definitely more behind it than that. Because what you have to understand is we don't really understand a lot about the spiritual side of stuff. What's happening right now is, if you tell somebody about stuff that you're going through, it's not just, okay, this person is over explaining themselves. It could be a case where there is some sort of spiritual understanding behind it, to where you might need to actually over explain yourself because of certain situations that you're going through. For example, you might be going through abuse and you're trying to get help, but you don't necessarily want to just say, hey, I'm getting abused, and so And then it's not even just that, it's also the fact that we don't, as I said, we don't really know much about the spiritual side of stuff. So over explaining yourself might actually have more behind it that we just don't know about. And that's the problem, you know. We don't know a lot about, because they hidden all of the information from us. So we see that people over explain themselves, but we just don't, we think it's just a bad habit that they have, but we don't really know exactly every single thing behind it. We also see that the narcissist wants you to over explain yourself so that they could gather information. But at the same time, we, as I said, we still don't know if there is, if a person should actually over explain themselves. I have seen where if you over explain yourself to the right person, that might actually end up being a positive for you, or you might actually end up having a bond with that person, because the smear so over explaining yourself, I think, could be a counter to the smear campaign, because by the time the person starts, the narcissist starts the smear campaign, you might actually already have over explained yourself to that person, so the person knows everything about you. So when the narcissist comes with the smear campaign, the person might say, oh, that's not true, the other person already over explained himself to me and told me every single thing about them. So over explaining yourself, there is a lot behind over explaining yourself that a lot of people don't understand, which I guess I might have to make another video on. But yeah, I just wanted to make this short video about over explaining yourself, and also about how when the narcissist became a narcissist. I believe that they were always a narcissist from they were kids. So, but at the time when we were growing up, we didn't know about narcissists, and we didn't see any problem with over explaining ourselves, with giving our personal information away. And we, obviously, I said it's also biological. So that's a video. It's really just a short video about narcissism, kind of grow the channel. So this channel is going to be about music and about me just kind of talking. I want to make some really good content for you guys, but right now I'm just doing these impromptu videos sitting in my car. But eventually I'm going to make videos walking in the park, also sitting in the car, maybe walking along a street. But I'm trying to mix it up, and basically trying to make some really good content for you guys in the future. But I believe that just kind of talking about it is great, and I also it's going to be also about music. So what I would do is I would make a song sometimes, and then I'll post that about narcissism, and then I just do like these kind of sit down videos also. So this is the video, guys. Thank you for watching.